you're keeping okay, everyone. Just having a cup of tea. Well, last week we discussed Guardians of the Galaxy and my thoughts for the future of the franchise. Because, like I said last week, I can't see Disney giving up on making Guardians films, especially since they set up a new team. But I also mentioned about some possible new members that would join. So I'm not going to discuss people already on the team or that have been shown to be on the team at the end of the last film, because other YouTubers have done the same thing and I want to do something a bit different. And I'm pretty sure other people have done this as well. But my channel, I can do whatever I want. So, as always, grab yourself a drink, tea, coffee, beer, I don't care. And sit back and let's have a little chat and see what you guys think. I'm going to kick it off with Starhawk, Martin X, if that's how you pronounce that name, and Charlie 27. Maybe drink here again as well. They are three characters that have been teased in Guardians of the Galaxy, with Ving Rhames, Sylvester Stallone, and Michael Rosenbaum playing the characters. They are the other three, two of them, which is Charlie and Martin, are just the original Guardians of the Galaxy members, other than Yondu, and one I'll be discussing later on. I don't think these three are going to appear as Guardians. They'll have cameos still, if even the characters, because they've been used for other things already. I just find it very strange if suddenly they became Guardians of the Galaxy. It's not impossible, but it's a big ask. Because also, do you think Sylvester Stallone's going to sit and play second fiddle to someone in the film? I'm sure he's happy enough doing cameos, but he's been a leading man for a long time. I'm not sure if he's willing to take a step down for these things. It's not impossible, but I just find it very unlikely. On saying that, I did mention that two of the characters were of the original Guardians team, along with Yondu and our first character on the list. So let's show the first guy, who has a very unique look and some very unique equipment that will look familiar to all of you. I'm fairly certain of that. Right, I did mention two of the original Guardians of the Galaxy in my intro there. And Yondu was another original member of the Guardians of the Galaxy, though that original one had a bow and arrow and wore loincloth. So that's not going to work. Those three, obviously for various reasons, I've already said won't work, and Yondu's dead, which is sad, but there we go. I think Vance Astro, the original leader of the Guardians, is still a likely candidate to be in future films. Maybe not for the fourth, but fifth and sixth. So originally he was an astronaut from 1988 who was sent into deep space to go to our nearest solar system. He was coated in this copper skin, which eventually gets replaced with adamantium because Marvel, which makes him have this cool blue-silver look to him. He also, for some reason, has Captain America's shield. Not going to get into all that now. But his whole thing was that he was going on this massive journey, put into deep sleep, and while there, he is woken up periodically, and he kind of goes crazy and realizes he's a mutant, develops very powerful psionic abilities, so he can shoot psychic blasts. I was thinking, if you're going to use someone like this, it could work really well with the Guardians. Like a Farscape style thing with him, where instead of being a human from 1988 that ends up in the 31st century, human from 1988 that people just forgot about or thought went missing on a space mission, and ends up being found by the Guardians, but things have changed a lot and maybe he doesn't want to go home, and at the same time as well he's ex-military, so it can be very by the book, which would be great contrast to the current team of Guardians of the Galaxy. Not too sure about the Captain American shield, if we can get that. That would be complicated. Could work, but there's still a lot that can be done with that. He'd be a great foil to most of the team, is what I'm trying to say. And I know, another human on the team who would maybe remember a lot of the music that the Guardians tend to play would be a nice addition. Plus, like I said, he looks pretty cool. Could be changed up to be an alien as well. It's not impossible. They've done that with multiple characters, Drax and Mantis being good examples, who were originally humans in the comics that are now just outright aliens in the films, and it works. But my next character, actually next two, are ones that will probably be better as aliens. So let's give them a wee drink, and then we'll jump into Moondragon. So my second most likely character to join the Guardians in future films would be Moondragon. Just, there will need to be changes, like Vance. There's not much you can do about that, but they made changes to every other character so far. Why not this one? You know, some changes are for the best, some aren't. Like, for instance, updating Tony Stark to tie him to more Middle East rather than, you know, Vietnam. That just made sense. Not making Miss Marvel an Inhuman, that also made sense because, well, if you've seen the Inhuman series, you'll notice a lot of problems, and we'll talk about that in future episodes, I hope. So Moondragon, originally a regular girl who was driving through the California desert one night with her family. They actually see an alien land, that is Thanos. He kills the parents and leaves her for dead. The reason why this will have to change is because her father is then resurrected and reborn as Drax the Destroyer. Drax has been done very well in the MCU, very different from his original version, but I wouldn't want to change with what they have. She would be taken by Thanos' father and trained on Titan, become the perfect human, and also at the same time go off with some monks to learn martial arts. Then she eventually fights the evil dragon of the moon and takes the name Moondragon in its place. And he has cool psychic powers, really good fighting abilities, and is an enhanced human with knowledge of genetics and engineering. So, not just genetic engineering, but genetics and engineering. You can see where some changes need to be made. For instance, I would obviously get rid of the Drax thing. You don't want to mess with a good thing, I already said that. Replace Thanos' father with Thanos' brother. That would be Harry Styles' character of Eros, or Star Fox, whatever you want to call him. You could have him find her in the wreckage of a car, and he would take her to be healed. Maybe taking responsibility for her because he felt bad after, you know, his brother trying to kill her and killing her family. You could sort of have her be a psychic for a while and talk about that in flashbacks. Don't even see it, just even talk about it briefly, or just allude to it and show us later on in the after credits. And that's maybe where she gets her psychic powers from, whatever way he had her healed and trained to, you know, defend herself. And then to get the Moondragon origin, well, you have had other monks in the MCU and other dragons in the MCU. Yes, Iron Fist. And also to a certain extent, Shang-Chi. So you could say that tie her into one of those ones, or just say it's an alien equivalent of it, or a Titan equivalent of it, because Titans are still kind of related to humans. It's a whole complicated thing that I don't know if the MCU is going to touch it. But that, you know, could help make things more cohesive and tie things together. Which would make Moondragon a fantastic character to add a little bit more depth to stuff that's already been done, while bringing new things, and also give you another cool female lead. It's pretty much where I'm at with that one. Those two are my most likely ones to join the Guardians. Third is Nova. I'm going to make that one brief because I'm still not too sure what they're going to do with that as a character. So again, if you need to top up your drink, now's your chance. And then we're going to move along to our third character, Nova. I doubt any of you would be shocked to realize that there's more than one Nova. We saw plenty in the first Guardians of the Galaxy film. We also know that the Nova Corps has been practically destroyed. They took a huge hit fighting in the first film to defend Xandar, and they took an even bigger hit in Avengers off screen whenever Thanos got the Power Stone. In many ways, the Nova I'm referring to is kind of like the Kal Rayner of Marvel Universe. If you don't know who Kal Rayner is, he was one of the Green Lanterns. He's just a regular human who becomes the last surviving member of the Green Lantern Corps until they retcon that and bring all the Green Lanterns back. So the reason why I'm not going to do too much detail on this is I'm not too sure what Disney's doing with it. Over a year ago, they announced that they're working on a Nova series. We've known this for a long time. So are they going to have the Nova Corps rebuilding? Or are they going to have this plot where a random guy on Earth gets the Nova powers? It's like flight, strength, energy projection, all that jazz. Or are they going to do something completely different? Because again, there are similar characters to this out there, and maybe they don't want to try and have any competition. Though it's really hard, because after a while, creating something new is bloody difficult. But it would make sense for him to team up with the Guardians at one point, especially since maybe Rocket would feel responsible. You could tell in that first film, he generally was sad whenever the Nova Corps sacrificed themselves to stop Ronan the Accuser. So that could be an interesting sort of take on it, having Rocket be another sort of father figure to a character. It's just an idea out there. And like I said, it's not my most likely pick, but there is a chance they'll do it, especially if they're looking to try and introduce Nova or expand on his appearances. Because that's the great thing about Marvel, is that if done right, they can tease other characters or bring characters in to help get them more, what's it, visualization? Is that the right term? Notoriety, even? I don't know. I still have chemotherapy brain, so bear with me. That's why I'm trying to make these and give myself something to do. Now, we're probably not going to see a Guardians film for a long time unless Disney become massively desperate. And you're not going to have James Gunn at the helm, so it'll be interesting. But I would say that he probably has a few ideas what he would have done for 4, 5, and 6. So maybe if he has some notes there, someone's going to take up the mantle and push on with this. But I would like to see one of these 3 particular characters appear. Mostly because I can say I was right and anyone else who disagreed with me was wrong. I'm not petty, and I'm going to go with it. But for now, I'm just going to finish this little cup of mint tea, and then I'm going to go and do some editing and hopefully get this posted before the end of the week. Depends how lazy I get. That's really pathetic. I'm well aware of it. Next week's going to be a bit different, because next week we're going to be at London MCM. I'm going to try and do some filming there. I can't guarantee anything, but we're going to try our best. And if you've been watching these, please like, subscribe, and comment. I'm going to make this a lot more common for me to do. And they'll get better, I swear, as my brain heals up from all the crap it's been through. Things I'm going to be talking about in the future as well will be the future of the Spider-Man franchise. Because Sony have it, and hopefully they won't mess it up. But God knows they want to do stuff with it. And Marvel probably don't want them doing anything with it. I'm going to talk about other things as well, like DC films as when they get announced. We're going to talk a bit about those. And just probably else I want to talk about, because it's my channel. So yeah, if there's any random crap you want me to talk about, please do. Comment below and ask. Hell, I'm happy enough to even talk about my sickness if you want as well, because that, sure, it's interesting. Anyway, guys, finish up a tea and have a great day or good evening or whatever you're on, and just look after yourselves, okay?